Good morning. It's Sunday, and it's good to be here. Thank you very much. You know, we try to do these every day, and we try to have it where we have some fun and you have some fun. So what we're going to talk about today is Nim Chimpsky. It sounds like he's a cheap skate. No, not really. Actually, he's, in so many words, a talking monkey. Okay, let's get started here. Okay, Nim Chimpsky, he's a chimpanzee. His birthday is November 19th, 1973, at the Institute for Primate Studies in Norman, Oklahoma. His name is a play on the name of renowned linguist Noam Chomsky, reflecting the study's focus on language. I don't know, he probably could have given him a better name, like maybe Jim Whitehead or Jim Brownhead. Anyway, okay, this is an acquisition study. Nim was the subject of an experiment led by psychologist Herbert S. Terrace from the Columbia University. The goal was to investigate whether a non-human primate could develop the ability to use human language through American Sign Language. You know, sign language, you know, thank goodness it gives people that can't hear, hearing, how would you say, compromised, where they can basically understand, and probably understand better than most of us, because you don't have to understand dialect or anything particular to where you live. It's just the same sign language. If you learn sign language, you can do it. Nim was raised in a human environment and taught ASL from a young age. He lived with various human families and caregivers who interacted with him as they would with a human child. Now, that's another neat thing. If I act like an adult, am I an adult? Chimpanzee, basically in the age range of children, young adults, same thing. The study aimed to challenge Noam Chomsky's theory that only humans possess an innate ability to and have language. Researchers wanted to see if Nim could learn to form syntactically correct sentences and communicate complex ideas using sign language. Okay, the findings. Nim learned to use numerous signs and could string together simple phrases to express basic needs and desires, such as give me or eat me. Ooh, but you know what I mean. That's pretty cool. You know, I'm having a little issue with Jamie, you know, the CEO. All of a sudden, about a week and a half ago, and this is just talking about animals learning and so on and so forth, something made her afraid of drinking from her water dish. We don't know why. So what I've had to do the last week and a half, which is absolutely fine, I take a syringe, fill it with water, and I run it onto the tile floor. Now, somebody'd say, we're going to call the dog police on you. But she then would drink that. I'd put some more down. She would drink that. And, you know, it's one of those things, my wife kept saying, hey, you know, she'll drink when she gets thirsty enough. You never can trust an animal doing something you think they're going to do, or you think they ought to do, or that you would do. So I just said, if I need to give it water like this for the rest of her life, that's the way it will be. But interestingly, I took her for a walk this morning. Florida, I've got to be honest, is hot, and I'm used to heat. I worked out in the generator business for 20 years, and it was always hot. You know, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, give or take. And, you know, you just did what you had to do. But this morning, she was panting. I filled her cup up, or her dish up, with what you would expect, fresh, electrolyte-oriented, you know, good water, not from the sink. And she actually started to drink. And she drank about 5 times. So they do learn, and hopefully she will be able to continue doing that. Because, you know, when you put down water, she'll drink it to a certain extent, but then she'll stop. But you don't know if she's really got enough water. You're not going to force her to drink. That is not good either. So anyway, that's my little tale of training an animal to say what they need, do what they need, and drink water. Okay, despite initial successes, Nim's use of sign language did not demonstrate the same complexity, understanding of grammar as human language. He primarily used signs to obtain rewards. He's not dumb, and did not show the ability to construct or comprehend sentences. He just said, give me something, give me treats, give me bananas, give me water. So, you know, he just couldn't pick up intricate syntax, but he still got what he needed. Conclusion, Terrace concluded that Nim's language use was more about conditioning and less about true linguistic ability. This supported the argument that while non-human primates can learn to use symbols to communicate, they do not. So, you know, they just cannot acquire language in the same way humans do. At least that was what the conclusion was. Okay, life after the study. After the project ended in 1977, Nim was returned to the Institute for Primate Studies. He later lived in various facilities, including a medical research laboratory and a sanctuary. Nim spent his final years as the Black Beauty Ranch, at the Black Beauty Ranch in Texas, a sanctuary for animals rescued from various forms of exploitation. Although he didn't get exploited, but you know, this was certainly a good aspect. Now, what we get into here, if I had done this before I had done my presentation on Coco, the gorilla, we'd be saying, well, I guess primates can't really pick up sign language. Well, if you're able to go back and look at my Coco presentation, it raises the bar as to really what can be done. So to be fair, we just don't know the study so long ago, and maybe they didn't just spend enough time, or their expectations were not up to the caliber of thinking that, yeah, he's going to be a normal sign language candidate. So take that for what you will. Now, related to ethical considerations, Nim's life and the ethical implications of his treatment during and after the study raised important questions about the use of animals in research. Now, I've also mentioned that there's a whole issue when you say animal research or animals in research. And I mentioned in another video, I talk about my mother. She was what we call anti-vivisection. Now, vivisection is an old term where, again, they might take him and try different oral medications or things on the skin. This is not that type of research. So I, inside, do not feel badly as long as his helpers didn't, like, you know, abuse him. But if it was where I'm trying to teach him how to sign language, that's okay. He would enjoy it, and he learned the best part of it anyway. Give me treats. Give me treats. So and this is the general point, the conditions and stress Nim experienced sparked discussion about the welfare of animals used in scientific experiments. I still have to say, trying to teach him how to talk with his hands and that he would get treats, I don't really see the problem in that. If they were doing some things like, I don't know, trying to put in vocal cords, I'm using the silly example, but that would be up to the caliber of bad scientific research, in my opinion. Anyway, Nim's story was brought to a wider audience through the 2011 documentary Project Nim, directed by James Marsh. The film explores Nim's life and the study's outcomes and ethical issues surrounding the research. Significance. Nim's study contributed to the broader understanding of animals' cognition and the limitations of non-human primates in acquiring human language. It reinforced the idea that while animals can learn to communicate using symbols, they do not possess the innate grammatical capabilities of humans. They're not better we're not better than they are, regardless of the status of his being able to speak or do meaningful long sentences with sign language. Nim's story highlighted the ethical considerations of animal research and the importance of ensuring the well-being of animals in scientific studies. Now, again, I still have to say, and thank goodness, they do different studies. And as I said, if I had just happened, it could have been by luck or bad luck, that I had done Nim a week and a half ago, and we'd be saying, well, I guess that's all I can do. But, you would say, well, the other study was with a gorilla. Well, we're looking at primates. And I wouldn't say off how I feel that chimpanzees, gorillas, so on and so forth, I wouldn't say gorillas would be expected to be much smarter. I mean, they could be, but that's why you do studies. And these type of studies don't really hurt the animals. They have people that love them. I mean, anybody that would work with Nim day after day after day would just love him. So he would not have bad treatment, and he would probably get extra treats. My Jamie loves treats. So, she knows. I mean, I don't have to do sign language, like I'm bringing you treats. She says, he's bringing me treats. His legacy continues to influence discussions on animal rights and research ethics. I have to follow the the verbiage here. I don't always agree with it, and I will tell you, and as I've already said twice, that this was not a bad use or working with Nimsky and giving him a lot, and I keep saying it, giving him a lot of treats. Nimsky's life and study, he was part of will remain significant in the field of linguistics, psychology, and animal welfare, providing valuable insights into the complexities of language acquisition and the ethical treatment of animals in research. Hey, stop saying the same thing. This is my fault. I'm reading his script. And you know that. I can't pronounce some words. I used to be okay, but you know how that gets when you get older. Anyway, do you have any other questions? Raise your hand. But seriously, I think these activities with animals, as long as you've got great people and the animals, of course they can't say, hey, this hurts. But I know they would convey, if you were doing something that would hurt them, that they would certainly not be very happy with you. So the biggest takeaway is, again, this study showed that he could learn enough to get by. That's the other thing, and again, I know I always have and, but the thing is, animals and humans, a lot of times, learn only what they need to learn to get by. My wife is Cuban. We've been together about 16 years. Her name is Myra. I call her 24. Yes, she speaks fluent Spanish. I speak zero Spanish. Now, why? One, I'm older. Older people don't learn languages as well. If I was young, I'd say, well, we're stupid back then. But because she speaks English pretty well, very well actually, it doesn't sound like her second language, I have never had to learn Spanish. Every once in a while, yeah, we have our friends come over and so on and so forth, and yes, they will speak Spanish, and I'll be looking at them like, I need to go work in my building content creating, and I'm going to speak English. But the point is, that chimp, Nim, could have just said, look, I don't need to learn all this other stuff. I just need to learn to get treats, bananas, and whatever else chimpanzees eat. But anyway, I hope we learned something today and had some fun. Have a good rest of the Sunday. Try to stay cool. I know the whole country is always seemingly in either fires or having an issue with heat. And we're running down here. My building's 80 degrees right at the moment, I can see, which luckily a less moisture 80 degrees is much, much better than if you're outside in the sun and it's 80 degrees. But what's happening here, it's not 80 degrees outside. It's about 97 degrees out here. And, you know, it's the old, it's 97, but it feels like 107. That's exactly right. But anyway, stay well, be well, and thank you again for being here. Take care.